This week on the Bubble Chat.
Admiration turns into manipulation or something darker than that's when it becomes dangerous, and that's when it's no longer fandom. It's abuse of power.
I get the idea of equity and fairness. So equity is like the ability to include the trans athletes as they should be included. They deserve a space.
Trump went Ike on Elon. Y'all didn't notice he had that black eye?
Yeah.
He had a real black eye because now you know Trump is not the best co-parenter. He don't even fuck with his own kids. You know the little boy Elon you got was running around the White House tearing up some shit, and Trump had told him, get that little motherfucker together. And then Melania was like, bitch, I'm the one holding the motherfucking coin purse up in this bitch. And then Trump said, bitch, but my dick is bigger than yours, you have to bow down. And then Melania had did something she wasn't supposed to do. And then Trump went haul ass on him. And then he said, bitch, and you're fired. We're done with your services.
Taking people's image and voice and shit away from them, right? And I think Prince referred to it as like intellectual robbery or
Cited as the thought of revisiting this chapter of her life, even teasing a possible Hannah Montana Miley Virgin moment. Yes, like a Taylor Swift style renaissance, even suggesting she might adjust off that wig again.
Keep it together, nephew. Keep it together. Come on. Mm-hmm.
Hey y'all, welcome to the Bubble Chat, your favorite stop where pop culture meets real life moments with a little flair, a little sass, and a whole lot of honesty. Whether you're tuning in while getting the kids ready for summer camp, driving home from work, or just winding down with your favorite snack, we're glad you made it. This isn't just a podcast, it's a full-on conversation where no topic is off limits and no guest leaves without spilling just a little tea.
Oh, Chris, you're muted.
We've got a packed show today, full of the stories everyone's been buzzing about, from celebrity headlines that had social media doing backflips to the everyday moments that deserve just as much attention. We're breaking it all down. Expect a few surprises along the way, because y'all know we don't keep it basic over here. And yes, we've got the receipts, the shade, and the laughs. So if you're sensitive, well, grab a tissue and still stick around.
Now, with Juneteenth happening this week, we're taking a moment to reflect and celebrate freedom, resistance, and joy. It's a powerful time to honor the stories of the past, recognize where we are now, and spotlight the voices pushing the culture forward. And trust, we're bringing that energy into today's episode. Expect some history, some heat, and some celebration all wrapped into one.
We're also diving into what's new for the Bubble Chat this season. We've got fresh faces, bolder takes, and segments made just for you. Whether you're deep into pop culture, chasing your hustle, or just trying to figure things out one coffee at a time. And we've been listening to your messages and your comments and all your motherfucking DMs. Let's just say some of y'all had opinions and we are here for it. So before we jump into all of that, take a second to breathe and settle in. Whether you've been riding with us since day one or you're just joining us for the chat, you are more than welcome. This is your space. This is your moment. This is the motherfucking Bubble Chat. Now let's spill some tea. How you doing?
How you doing?
Mm-hmm. Well, up first on the docket. Well, you know what they say. What happens in the dark always comes to the motherfucking light. First, Jared Leto, the actor, musician, and frontman of 30 Seconds to Mars, is back in the headlines, and not just for any movie or music drop. TMZ just released a report that multiple women have come forward accusing Leto of inappropriate behavior. Some alleging it began when they were even minors. In the words of Jamie Foxx, use a dirty motherfucker. Now, these aren't just new whispers. For years, people on social media have hinted at questionable patterns, DMs with underage fans, odd interactions at concerts, and the kind of rock star mystique that always makes folks side-eye a little bit. But this recent wave of allegations, it's been getting harder to ignore. We're talking about women claiming that Leto initiated sexual conversations and made advances when they were still underage. That's a serious accusation. What's even more troubling is the pattern. Allegedly, Leto will find these girls through fan interactions, places where young people look up to celebrities and don't always recognize when boundaries are being crossed. And the more we hear about cases like this, the more we have to ask, how many times do young girls have to be mistreated by powerful men before someone finally steps in? Now, of course, as of now, Jared hasn't responded to any of these new claims, and there's no word yet on any legal action. But as always, here on the motherfucking Bubble Chat, we believe in listening, believing, and protecting those who speak out, especially when they are at risk with everything coming forward. Whether the system can up or not, public accountability starts with conversations like these. What do you think I'm so sorry. What do you think it says about celebrity culture when, excuse me, what do you think about celebrity culture and the way society protects men in power when allegations like these can circulate for years without any consequences? And how do we create safer places for young fans who look up to these stars at the same time? That was a mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hearing about these allegations against Jared Leto, it honestly doesn't shock me. And that's kind of the sad part. It feels like more often than not, when these stories come out, is someone from the entertainment industry, and not just anyone, usually actors or singers with major followings, people that fans, especially young fans, idolize. And I get it. When you're young and someone looks up to message you, it's exciting, it feels validating, it makes you feel seen. But there's a line. And when that admiration turns into manipulation or something darker, then that's when it becomes dangerous. And that's when it's no longer fandom. It's abuse of power. You know, Jared Leto isn't the first, and let's be real, he probably won't be the last. Back in 2023, Alexa Nicholas, who's been doing real work with her organization Eat Predators, came forward with her own story. She said that Jonah Hill forcibly, allegedly, kissed her at Justin Long's house when she was just 16 and he was 25. That kind of age gap and power dynamics is alarming. And it shows that this pattern of behavior has been going on for years. And what's wild is that even after the public conversations we've had about consent and accountability, we're still seeing the same headlines, that same kind of harm, the same silenced people in their circles who know what's happening but say nothing. It just makes you think how much really has changed, and what will it take for behavior to actually stop being normalized behind the scenes? That's how I feel about it. Those are my 2 cents.
Like you said, this man ain't the only one. Sad to say that he won't be the first. He's not going to be the last. Accusations and stories like this make me think about Woody Allen. It makes me think about Russell Simmons, R. Kelly. The men are sick. And then it's a double sword because the men are talented. And then there's a bigger issue with the machines behind the men that protect them. Like Elvis Presley. Wasn't that girl? Wasn't Priscilla? You know, like, it's just...
young, right? Like 15, 16, something like
right.
that.
You know, it's like I said, this guy isn't the first. Probably isn't going to be the last. Being a double-edged sword, as in you are a talent, And somewhere all your screws, the lights ain't on, the mall is open, and everybody ain't shopping because of what you're doing. But then, like I said, there is a machine behind you. I'm not taking the accountability away from the men, but they would not be able to do it without the machine. Not so extensively, not so in your face. You know what I mean? Like it's just like obvious and evident. Then what do? There's a machine out there scrubbing, putting out the story narratives and everything like that because they've invested so much into this talent. But he's just a mere man. We're all subject to sin.
Yeah, I think this really like calls back to, you know, what's happening right now with Diddy. I think this is just another, and I think Diddy's case kind of actually highlighted how deep it goes, like how far down the rabbit hole this shit is. Mm-hmm. And I just think that, yeah, you're right. There's a machine, but also we're part of the machine, right?
Yeah.
We give these guys value. And I don't think the value that we give some of these dudes, like any one person should have, right? So I think there's a way in which we as a society act with individuals, like, you know, Leto and Diddy and Michael Jackson, and we have some responsibility there.
I feel you.
I'm about to fight you like, don't talk about my past. So when you said Michael Jackson, I'm going to let it go. Jasmine, how you feel? How you feel, Jasmine?
Well, this is a sensitive topic for me since of my recent experience with my teenager. I just want to just highlight that the status part of it all in grooming or predatory behavior from adults to minors, it doesn't have to be the influence of like being a celebrity. Like people in positions of power include teachers or coaches, like we said, pastors, mentors, and etc. And that's the nice genre of it. There's also this influence that happens on social media where there's these guises, right? So these masks that are put up for people on social media because they're going to put their best foot forward oftentimes with little booby traps. And when I say booby traps, we're flashing money, we're flashing fake gold grills, we're posing in front of cars that don't even belong to us. We just happen to go by the car wash. So there's this guise that's put up to put people into positions what appears to be power, and then the grooming starts online with DMing, and it's just cultivating abuse, right? Because the age gap does not allow for consent, and it's just an imbalance in power. Somebody who's more experienced has done it more often than not. That the perpetrator has, the person that is grooming has, and it's unfortunate that it's not talked about enough with something as simple as like social media. And it's sad that when what I've seen and what I've experienced firsthand is that when children are groomed and then decide to engage with the minor or with the adult, or the adult tries to, engage with them. Like for my kid was considered a runaway. So the response from the police department was different compared to if she would have been abducted. And then with the outcome, as it relates to me telling the police, like, hey, this is not normal behavior. She's not dressed appropriately. Like, like one of the police officers knew my kid, like, she doesn't dress like this. This is all crazy. The outcome in regards to holding somebody accountable with a bunch of men was really impactful because they were not listening to me. So what I'm saying is when my baby showed up not looking like herself with a busted lip, scratches on her legs, inappropriate attire, her breasts are falling out. She's in 8th grade, shorts where her seat can be seen to her panties, like all this stuff that does not constitute her normal behavior. I'm like, she's lying on behalf of the adult that she was with. Like you guys are like literally minimizing what I'm saying. And I feel like systemically, Black and brown girls are not heard or seen or categorized as being of value. So therefore, their response in this patriarchal society is like detrimental to their healing, to holding the adult accountable. He'll just find somebody new. Anyway, the person I'm talking about in particular was 6'4", and he was telling everybody that he was 16. And that's not normal. That's not a normal height for a teenager. And the grooming conversations included, "You're going to be my wife." That's not normal for a teenager either. So I just wanted to say all that to wrap it up, is that there's an injustice that's happening for the babies. And their therapy, their validation, the rebuilding of their identity and self-worth is being halted because the people are not being held accountable. They just get better at it. So that's it.
And this conversation just goes to show that it can happen to anyone.
Happen to anybody.
Lord have mercy. We're going to pray for you.
Oh, please.
All the young girls up there. All the
and men. And the boys.
Boys too.
All right, what's next on the agenda?
All right. We've got a hot take to kick things off. Simone Biles, the most decorated gymnast of all time, stepped into the spotlight on X, formerly Twitter. The clap back at Riley Gaines, the former NCAA swimmer turned conservative activist. Gaines had criticized a Minnesota high school softball team for including a transgender pitcher, calling her a boy. After the team won their state championship, Biles responded by labeling Gaines a straight-up sore loser and said she was truly sick for bullying trans athletes. Biles didn't just call her out, she challenged Gaines to advocate for inclusion, or at least create a separate sports category for transgender athletes. She reminded us, maybe a transgender category in all sports, and added, bully someone your own size, which would ironically be a male. On the flip side, Gaines fired back, saying she was disappointed in Biles and claimed men don't belong in women's sports. She even dragged in Biles' own past, referencing the abuse from Larry Nassar and calling her stance male apologizing. This clash is just the latest in a heated national debate. It comes amid legal battles and policy moves, from Title IX fights to executive orders about where transgender athletes fit into competitive sports. And when it comes to fairness and inclusivity, the lines are only getting blurrier. Do you believe creating a separate category for transgender athletes, as Simone suggested, actually paves the way for more inclusivity, or does it risk deepening the division?
Bravo to Simone Biles. Bravo to Simone Biles. Like, for real, bravo to Simone. It's 2025, and yet we're still having her tired, harmful takes about trans athletes just trying to exist and participate like everyone else. A trans student, wanting to join the sport is not something we get to control. And frankly, it's not something Riley Gaines or anyone else has the right to control either. What needs to stop urgently is the obsession with labeling trans people based on their gender that they were assigned at birth. The narrative is dangerous, and it's getting people hurt, silenced, and put to the margins. And yes, I said it. Labeling people in a way that denies their identity is discrimination. Call it what it is. Now, let me be a million with y'all for a second. At my alma mater, not too long ago, there was an event hosted by the student chapter of Turning Point USA. Riley Gaines was invited to speak and inform what I heard. She used a platform to push her campaign against trans athletes in women's sports. She even called it, and I quote, spiritual welfare. Like, really? That's the kind of language of being platformed at a university? And listen, I don't care if you're a conservative, liberal, publicist, preacher, whatever. I don't give a shit. When you actively contribute to discrimination, that's inexcusable. Period. College campuses should be a space for dialogue and education, not for a stage for hate disguised as concern. So yeah, I praise Simone Biles for speaking up, not just for herself, but for all humans, including trans folks who are often so overlooked erased, or targeted, just trying to live. Her using her voice like that matters, and it sends a message that silence is not an option. And when people's rights and lives are on the line, period.
Preach. Chris?
Yeah, I think if they were half as worried about like if the right, if the conservatives, if like all these people championing for equity or equality for women were like half as concerned with like the number of hungry babies we got in this country, we might not have any more hungry babies, right? So I'm happy that Simone Biles, said what she said. I just feel like, yeah, I'm glad she said what she said, and I feel like we spent a lot of time talking about trans bodies. Like let people live. Let people live.
Love, life, and live. What you think, Jasmine?
I think I understand the discussion, although I'm not well versed in all the things. And it just sounds like one person went about their thoughts in a derogatory, mean fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I get the idea of equity and fairness.
Mm-hmm.
So equity is like the ability to include the trans athletes as they should be included. They deserve a space.
Mm-hmm.
However, the fairness of it all, similar to separating female athletes from male athletes, is the unfair advantage that they often talk about due to like hormones and things like that. It's like biological advantages or testosterone, bone density. It sounds like all these things are a factor, which is why they already had women and men separated. So my thought process is inclusivity would look like maybe a section specifically for the trans community if we want to have an opportunity for fairness. I'm not clear on why. Yeah, I'm not clear on why that is a issue, because I don't know all the things. So those are my thoughts. If they're talking about genetics and biological advantages, like something that somebody cannot necessarily control, I just don't. Yeah, I don't understand all the things. Go ahead.
That's very much so true. Everything everyone has said is very, very valid. I hope that what I'm going to say is getting more to the bullseye of the conversation. When we say LGBTQ, right? In all of those acronyms, the T has actually come last in society. And the reason why T has come such the biggest letter in the LGBTQ community is because science has been a great attribute to the advancement, to the acceptance, and the understanding of trans. But that would go back to what Jasmine just said with the hormones and genetics. Now, I personally believe that Ashley can identify and become Eric. She can take the double vasectomy, and she can and take her hormones and do all of those things. Your ass still belong on the WNBA team. Because if we put you on the court with these men, as Jasmine said, like just genetically, you do not compare, we cannot compete. And if Jeffrey wanted to become Jocelyn and have boobs and did everything he did and took his hormones, but if you're gonna play, then we're gonna put you on the men's soccer team if you play soccer. Just strap your titties down extra tight and you better hold your ass cheeks to real tighter. I don't make light of any of this, but we really have to have common sense along with some compassion. And then that is a two-way street. Because to me, a little bit, the trans community has become a sort of a bully, a little bit intimidating. But as I said in the beginning, had we had to have the advancement of science, your voice would not be as loud. It would not be as heard. And I'm not saying y'all like sexual lab rats or anything like that, but science has actually helped you do the trailblazing. It's not just makeup and fake prosthetics. A woman can get a penis now and a man can get a vagina. Unnaturally, that falls back to science. So as I said, we have to use a lot of common sense and some compassion, and it's a two-way street from the trans community to everyone else in whatever sports arena or job, whatever, wherever you are in your life. You have to have some compassion and you need to use your common sense. And the feelings are valid, but they're not factual.
Yeah.
That was deep, goddamn. Yeah. Well, check this out. We're going to switch gears onto the world of tech billionaires and politic motherfucking fireworks. Okay, now look. Elon Musk recently dropped and then deleted a major allegation on Twitter. Whatever the fuck the app is. But on June 5th, he had claimed Donald Trump's name appeared in the unreleased Jeffrey Epstein case files. Okay, Elon Musk tagged it as a real reason they haven't been made public, signing off with a "Have a nice day, DJT." But no longer after, Musk quietly removed the post along with the follow-up calling Trump's impeachment, hinting at a potential de-escalation amid their public feud. On receiving the heat, Trump fired back via his former Epstein lawyer, insisting Epstein had no information on him and pointed out Trump's name already appeared in the well-known flight logs. He has threatened to hit Musk's businesses if he pursues or invest in Democratic rivals. Oh my goodness. Okay, this all comes as a part of their high-stakes clash. Elon Musk calling a recent budget package a disgusting abomination, and Trump versus Tesla and SpaceX contracts. Their relationships once hinted a mutual respect, but Elon Musk even briefly served as a government advisor, but is now turned into a full-blown tit for tat. Now, do you think Musk's removal of the post signals he regrets going nuclear, or was it a calculated retreat? And in a world where tech leaders and politicians are so motherfucking twined, how much transparency should we expect when billionaires speak their truth? It's a messy bitches. What do we got? What y'all think?
Let me just say, this whole Elon Musk and Trump situation is a mess. A complete mess. First of all, Elon posted that Trump was allegedly named in the Jeffrey Epstein files. Then he deletes it. Like, sir, you don't just casually drop something like that and backtitle once the internet catches fire. The problem here isn't just what's said, it's how recklessly it's being handled. You've got Elon, someone with millions of followers and a platform that reaches across the globe. Excuse me. Throwing out heavy allegations like he's just talking over drinks. And whether it's true, false, half true, or misunderstood, it creates chaos, confusion, and damage. Like, you can't be urinating the bell once it's out there. Then there's Trump, who's always the center of some storm and somehow always plays the victim while being dead in the middle of controversy. If he's named in anything, that deserves a real investigation, not social media clickbait. And if he's not then we've got people misusing Epstein's name and the trauma of those victims to make headlines and push agendas. Either way, it's wrong. This whole thing just shows how messy things get when powerful men treat serious issues like entertainment. Real life were impacted by Epstein and what he did. And instead of honoring that with truth and care, we've got billionaires and politicians making it into internet drama and letting their egos take over. It's gross and it's reckless and it just needs to stop. Bottom line, accountability matters more than clout. It's if there's real evidence, pursue it through the right channels. If not, keep people's traumas out your mouth and off your feet.
Mm-mm. Let me tell you what happened. It was a who drop kick too in the Oval Office, okay? Trump went Ike on Elon. Y'all didn't notice he had that black eye?
Yeah.
He had a real black eye. Because now, you know, Trump is not the best co-parenter. He don't even fuck with his own kids. You know, the little boy Elon got was running around the White House tearing up some shit. And Trump had told him, get that little motherfucker together. And then Melania was like, bitch, I'm the one holding the motherfucking point, the coin purse up in this bitch. And then Trump said, bitch, but my dick is bigger than yours. You have to bow down. And then Melania had did something she wasn't supposed to do. And then Trump went haul ass on him. And then he said, bitch, and you're fired. We're done with your services. Now, that's all it was. We just talked about dirty motherfuckers when it comes to Leto and Puff Daddy, and now we're talking about Trump. He's a dirty motherfucker on a variety of fucking levels. It's just not about sexual conduct, and it's not about what motherfuckers ass on the Oval Office either. He's a dirty businessman and all that shit. He didn't want to grab him by the pussy and all those things. We know what we're dealing with. We know what we're dealing with. I don't know why we think that this is even surprising. It makes sense to me. They broke up. And Melania got his ass whooped. He took a cheap shot on Twitter. He said, I own it. I own it.
Yeah, I mean, I think this just speaks to like how wild shit is right now. Just like in our country, we've got Musk, like, you know, putting all this shit out on Twitter. We've got Trump doing God knows what down in LA. We've got like a very public breakup between the two. Like both are just like so problematic on such a deep level. That it's just really disturbing to like just even have to be aware of them every single day. Also, how embarrassed were we all when they start bickering like on Twitter or X or whatever? Did anybody else just feel embarrassed to just even be an American?
They were expressing their First Amendment.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
I mean, celebrities do it every day. People do it on social media every day. Why are they exempt? They're human just like us.
But Trump is a president. That is not the same as me. I am not
crash out just like us. Did they crash out? Is that considered a crash out?
Standard at all.
Did they crash out? Is that considered a crash out?
At all.
I'm just saying. Jasmine, what you got going about these rich white men problems?
Well, I remember watching the Epstein documentary. Oh, I was having a moment. That came out like in 2020 during COVID, if I remember correctly, like around that time. And one of the allegations that was a big deal for me was that Prince Andrew was associated with the flight logs, and then Prince Andrew's obviously a form of royalty. So that person had multiple allegations, and they ended up with a legal settlement from what was the legal settlement? Something in relation to his legal filings sexually with minors trafficked by Epstein. So yeah, so okay. So here's the thing, though. Although Donald Trump is associated and on the fight logs, that doesn't necessarily mean that he has charges against him or he was engaged in any type of criminal activity. And it is so interesting and convenient that all these celebrities who could get together and bang out a lot of things with the funds that they have, like if they just pooled all their funds together, they can stop so many people from communicating or talking because of the level of exhaustion a person can experience from the oppression, like trying to go to court and exhausting all their little bitty funds because they were victims. And then, yeah, it's just, it's very calculated. And I don't want to say everybody that's associated on the flight logs, like Naomi Campbell, Bill Clinton, David Copperfield, all these celebrities, I don't want to say that they are all, you know, conspiring with, or they were conspiring with Epstein, but it's really coincidental. And I just don't like it. And I don't see how anybody could not have seen anything or, I don't know.
He is exotic. We already know Bill down for getting it up under the table. Girl, them peoples is wrong. It's three lips, girl.
You know what this makes me think about?
What?
You know how sometimes there's subliminal messaging in media, right? It absolutely makes me think about Monsters, Inc. Monsters, Inc. and how they would gain power from the screams of babies, little babies, the innocent, and all those things.
Uh-huh.
And if we go down a rabbit hole, there's something that is special about the innocent, the little people. And I feel like there's little opportunities, for the veil to be removed for our eyes, to, scales to be taken off our eyes for us to see. They tell us things so that it's in our face, and then we are less likely to respond because we have been desensitized.
Right.
So like hearing this and reading about it, and just like, there's something there. I'm just not an expert on what. There's something there. These aren't coincidences. There's definitely something there. That's all I gotta say about it.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Next up, we're talking Miley Cyrus. Yes, the flower superstar who just dropped some behind-the-scenes drama about her Disney days. During a guest spot on the Every Single Album podcast, she revealed that for years after Hannah Montana rapped in 2011, she wasn't allowed to perform any of that music, even though it literally features her voice and image. She admitted it made her say songs like The Best of Both Worlds weren't just for show, they are her. But Disney blocked her from singing them, and she had to let those hits lie dormant when she evolved into a new artist. Now, the doors have opened. Miley was honored as a Disney legend last August, which came with a big perk, full permission to perform her Hannah Montana songs again. She's excited as the thought of revisiting this chapter of her life, even teasing a possible Hannah Montana Miley version moment. Yes, like a Taylor Swift style renaissance, even suggesting she might adjust off that wig again.
Keep it together, nephew. Keep it together. Come on. Come on. Mm-hmm. You and all your Disney bitches. Come on, let's go. But I'll fucks with Miley. Come on.
Okay, hold on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. 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 All right. Joey, tell him. Okay. Whew. She went through a major career reinvention from the Hannah charm to the Bangers era and onward. Perhaps partly because she had to shed that past to embrace the artist she wanted to be. Butler, do you think the restriction helped Miley reinvent herself by forcing distance from Disney image, or did it rob her of performing a key of her story? And now that she has permission back, where do you think she'll go next for her Hannah Montana music? Also, do Adonis.
Because I know, how did you slide Taylor Swift or raggedy ass in there? She not even a Disney baby. She's old country tick, the old farmer flea. But listen, and all of the stars to come from Disney, Miley motherfucking Cyrus is a boss. I remember seeing not Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, but something like that. Her jewelry collection, all her money, all the business, all the investments, all her creativity, I love Miley Cyrus. I didn't know it until right now. I love that little fat lip white girl. I love her. I do. She is everything. She gives. She is amazing. And I'm happy that she doesn't have to fight anymore to sing whatever collection particular song list of songs that she has made. But yeah, Miley Cyrus is amazing. She is amazing. The Young Money rapped about her. Young Money rapped about her. She had a wild little stench, like all the little Mickey Mouse rats they have. When they get let up out the lab rat, they all lose it for just a quick moment. She had a very small, a very short, crazy face. But I love her from the wrecking ball to I can buy myself flowers. I mean, Miley Cyrus is the shit. I give it up. Girl. Get the bag, white girl. Get the bag. Give me someone I see.
Okay, so recently I came across that story about Miley not being allowed to give Hannah Montana energy after the show ended, and honestly, I find it crazy. Like, how are you going to build an entire brand around a girl living a double life as a pop star, and then tell the actual girl who was Hannah Montana that you can't even lean into that vibe once it's all over? Like, this is one of those behind the scenes moments I had no idea about until now, and after learning more about how child actors were treated on Disney Channel back in the day, it makes a lot more sense why Miley has been so open in recent years. She made it clear, and she was only speaking for her own experience. And from what she shared, it sounded like she really did love being Hannah. It was a big part of her childhood, and you could tell those moments, those memories hold a special place in her heart. But at the same time, there's a darker layer to it all. Miley talked about being like an adult when she was just a kid, and even allegedly being forced to keep working on stuff while on her period, and having to like act like Hannah from even like when she was not on the scene. Like honestly, that's just not just uncomfortable. It's really exploitation, and it's part of this whole Disney curse people talk about, where these young stars go through all this stuff and that no one really sees until years later. And a lot of these former Disney kids had to live under strict rules, and everything had to be G-rated, dress code, the music the way, and the way they presented themselves. Some of them didn't even control their own social media accounts. Actually, most, to be honest. And while I get that there are brand standards to protect a younger audience, there are some things that I completely disagree with. Like there are claims that Disney allegedly hired stalkers to follow them or pressured them into strict diets to stay like in shape. We've heard Demi Lovato speak about how that contributed to her eating disorder, and that's not about safety or image. That's just damaging. But at the end of the day, most of these actors signed up for Disney's Dream because they wanted to help support families. A lot of them came from struggling households, and that role was their ticket out. So, of course, they followed the rules, whether they were fair or not, but they didn't feel like they had a choice. And that's what makes the story about Miley so much deeper. And then then just she couldn't sing Hannah Montana. It's about the industry treats kids like products instead of people. That's how I feel.
Preach.
Yeah, I think I think I think I'm looking at the story through a slightly different lens, although I do agree with what's been said. I'm always like against like this um like taking people's image and voice and shit away from them, right? And I think Prince like referred to it as like intellectual like robbery or like something like that. And like I'm always like really against that. But I do think that in this specific case, it probably really did force Miley to become who she was going to become, right? Because she could have, there's no shortage of Disney fans who want to keep getting those Disney hits for their kids, right? For their kids, they like it, the kids like it, right? Like you can sell lots of music, t-shirts, like whatever. There's never going to be a shortage of that. But for her to branch out from that, like so many like previous Disney artists have, and found like like a new relationship to the crowd, to their fans, I think is really cool and special.
And Dr. Jasmine.
You all, I am out of the loop for Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana, and I'm sorry. Like I was around a little bit for Raven Simone. That's so Raven, but like Hannah Montana is. I was already out in the streets, so I was out of school. So, yeah, I'm not in the loop for this. Sorry, y'all.
Don't worry, if you don't have to be.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Next.
Yeah, so all right, fam. Next up, we're turning the spotlight on someone who's been lighting up our screens, then quietly stepped away. Mindy Kaling, superstar, writer, producer, actor, recently opened up about why she paused on acting even while her shows were thriving. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter on June 5th, Kaling shared she got a little superstitious. Her Netflix hits like Never Have I Ever and Running Point haven't featured her in front of the camera, and she thinks, hey, clearly these are winning without me, so let them roll. That said, she's not gone forever. Mindy confessed, I miss it, and she's itching to write or co-create a show where she acts and directs. Efficiency and fun, that's her jam. And yep, fans might see her and yet fans might see her ounce of on-screen magic again in the next couple years. Speaking of a hustle, her latest Netflix show, Running Point, starring Kate Hudson, dropped in February and is already snagging praise. Hudson even said Mindy was sending notes an hour after giving birth. Now that's dedication. Do you think stepping back from acting has given Mindy the creative freedom to grow? And how might her return in a dual actor director role change the game? Plus, would you want to see her dive back into TV or maybe hit the big screen?
You know, I completely get why Mindy Kaling is choosing to take some time off acting. Like, I respect it. The truth is, being an actor, whether you're on screen or stage, is not a walk in the park. People love to glamorize the industry, but behind the scenes, it's a grind. Long hours, constant screening pressure to stay relevant. It's a lot. And that's before we even get into these deeper issues. We're talking racism, pay inequality, the way women, especially of color, get typecast or dismissed. And Mindy, from what I know, has spoken about this before and about carving out space for herself in rooms where she was often the only woman of color, and that takes a toll. So if she says she wants to hit pause, I support that 100%. And let's not forget, most of these actors are parents. Mindy has 3 kids. Trying to juggle filming, press tours, and parenting is not a cute little balancing act. That's fucking survival mode. So stepping away to focus on other parts of life isn't a retreat, it's being human. It reminds me of how people treat musicians too. You know, nobody expects an artist to drop an album after album and after album and after album and single after single after single after single with no break. But when actors take a step back, folks start questioning their work ethic or if they're still serious about their craft. It's honestly weird. Also, so many actors do other things. Like Kevin Hart is an example. He's not just an actor, he runs a production company, and he was running a vegan fast food chain before it shut down last year. These people are building full careers, not just collecting roles. So yeah, let Mindy rest, let her redirect. She's earned it. And honestly, more folks in the industry should feel like they're allowed to do the same.
Ladies?
I have no clue who this person is.
Okay, did you remember Ocean's 8, the one with Rihanna in it?
The what?
Do you remember Ocean's 8, the one with Rihanna and Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
Okay, remember the Indian chick that was that did the diamond swap?
Vaguely.
So that's who she is. That's who she is.
Or did you ever watch The Office?
No.
Or the first Inside Out movie.
What about a Wrinkle in Time?
That's like a chick flick for real.
Oh,
right.
maybe I'll watch it now.
But yeah, but you would know her as being one of the counterparts in Ocean's 8. She was the one that was that did the diamond swap. She's the one that had to swap the diamonds when they was doing a heist.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. It sounds like, but I know that I have been wanting to see Running Point. Because someone told me it was good.
You want to see Wrinkle in Time?
Yeah, Oprah's in there.
No, I love her. I love her. Go ahead, Jasmine.
Oh, I just want to give kudos to her for stepping back. She's been under pressures because of how she looks. So she's a darker color. And she was a little bit bigger when she was on The Office. Why your mouth open?
Because, I mean, she... No, go ahead. I'll explain later.
Okay, yeah. So she has had, battles with being in front of the camera. And then also right now, she's a single mom. So that's a big deal. As of, March of this year, she's a single mother of 3. And she has to put her children first, her family first. Oftentimes with parenting, it's very hard to go into the world and be functional if your home life is not stable. So that's the whole thing. I'm sure she could, very well acquire the au pairs and all the things, but it's nothing like having your actual care provider, the person who gave birth to you or that is related to you or that oversees your education, your health, and all the things to be present. But yeah, kudos to her.
I like her. There are so many other women out there, such as Regina King, Angela Bassett, Tasha Smith. Yes, Rashi P. Henson. There are so Issa Rae. There are so many of our Black queens out here serving doses and potions of Black girl magic in front of and behind the scene. Quinta, the girl from
Quinta Brunson.
Yes, come on, nephew. Tell me about it. Somebody say something even they a
She acted, created, directed, and written about Elementary.
Yes, they are serving, and I'm eating it up, I love it. Now I support her, and I loved her in Ocean's 8. And that's the only piece of work that, no, I know her from The Office, but I never watched it before. But I loved her. She's hella funny. And to cross over or to cover the statement of the issue when you said she's a Black girl and she was fighting, I mean, I get it.
Oh, I didn't say she was Black.
Excuse me, a woman of color.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, woman of color, cool me. Woman of color, and you said dark. So when you said that, I immediately thought about Quinta Brunson. I immediately thought about a few Sherry Shepherd, like the aesthetic of their height and weight. Like I saw, like a few women came to my mind, and it never came to my mind that is an issue or a problem, because everyone can't be the statuesque figure. Everyone can't rock the garment. That's why there's such a variety of actors out there, because everyone applies their texture to the canvas. You know what I mean? So have any of you seen Straw yet?
Oh,
I did.
Oh, baby. If it wasn't Sherry, it was Tiana. If it wasn't Tiana, it was that shit was amazing.
You liked the movie?
Okay, you know how in the original Color Purple, everyone cries at the end when Suge goes to church? And you know how when they remade The Color Purple, how everyone cried when Fantasia had left Ooh Sophia and she said, "Don't leave." Girl. It was like she was singing "Don't Leave" by Blackstreet the whole goddamn time through the damn movie. And the strawberry, I was crying the entire
Oh no.
time. But it's beautiful though. It's beautiful. You know, so it's a beautiful chaos. It is amazing. But yeah, I say all that to say we're gonna pump this Black Girl Magic. I want all you ladies keep doing your thing, and I'm gonna eat it up as y'all keep serving. On to the next.
No, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Come on, Few.
Alrighty, well, as we continue celebrating Pride Month here on the Bubble Show, we want to take a moment to honor a trailblazer, someone who stood at the intersection of Black liberation, LGBTQ plus visibility, and unapologetic activism. Today, we're shining a spotlight on a name that should never be forgotten when talking about queer history and the fight for justice, Marsha P. Johnson.
Marsha P. Johnson was a Black trans woman, drag queen, and activist whose courage helped ignite the modern LGBTQ plus rights movement. Born in New Jersey, she moved to New York City and became a beloved figure in Greenwich Village. Known for her vibrant personality, flower crowns, and that signature phrase, the P stands for pay it no mind. That's the energy we're carrying today. Most people know Marsha from her role in the 1969 Stonewall Uprising. While accounts vary, many say she was one of the first to resist during the police raid at the Stonewall Inn, a moment that turned into a historic protest and catalyst for Pride as we know it. But her work didn't stop there. Alongside her friend Sylvia Rivera, Marsha co-founded STAR, Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries, a group focused on helping homeless trans youth and queer people of color. Marsha's life was filled with joy and hardship. She faced police brutality, housing instability, and mental health struggles, but she kept showing up. She marched, she organized, and she fought for people society refused to see. When she died under suspicious circumstances in 1992, the LGBTQ plus community mourned deeply and demanded answers. In recent years, there's been a renewed effort to recognize her legacy with documentaries, murals, and ongoing campaigns to honor her as one of the movement's true mothers.
There you go.
All right. Now that we've unpacked some of today's biggest headlines and honored a true legend for Pride Month, it's time to switch gears a bit. This next segment is something we love to call Beyond the Blog, where we take a little stroll down memory lane and revisit moments that may not be trending right now, but still left a mark. Some of these stories might have happened just a few years ago, and others way before the bubble chat even existed. We created this segment because sometimes the past gives us better understanding of the present. Whether it's a moment in pop culture that had everyone in a chokehold, a controversy that sparked real conversations, or a low-key event that quietly changed the game. This is the space where we bring it back and dig into the remember when of it all. And honestly, it's fun to even revisit moments that shaped the culture before TikTok dominated every trend, before everyone had a podcast, and before timelines moved at lightning speed. This is about recognizing the moments that lived rent-free in our minds, and maybe yours too.
All right, family. Time to take it beyond the blog, and we're winding back a bit to the spotlight and moment that predate our podcast, but still hits so hard to this day. Remember? So I don't know if any of you remember, but in the 2023 NAACP Image Awards, actress Gabrielle Union and her husband Dwayne Wade took the stage to accept the President's Award and turned that spotlight into a powerful rally for Black LGBTQ rights. Dwayne kicked things off by dedicating his words to their trans daughter Zaya. He said, I watch you walk out of the house every morning as yourself. I admire how you've handled the ignorance in our word. To say that your village is proud of you is an understatement. To call Zaya a better human simply by being who you were born to be, then Gabrielle elevated elevated the message. He asked the audience, will we fight for some or will we fight for all of our people? Black trans folks are being targeted, terrorized, and haunted in this country every day, everywhere, and there's rarely a whisper about it. They own their role as parents, not just advocates. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this story. And I did have the opportunity to come across this page recently, and she said what needs to be said. And her words gave one of the clearest, most imperative examples of what trans people have been facing being overlooked and being targeted, being murdered, and constantly being discriminated against just for existing. And that's honestly all I have to say, if I gotta be honest.
Zaya ought to be a supermodel. She looked very, very pretty last time I saw her. Zaya should start modeling.
She said.
Yes, she's very pretty.
I just love that couple. Just generally speaking, I love them.
What?
I said, generally speaking, I just love that couple.
Oh, Jasmine.
I think the pronunciation of the name is Zaya. Is it Zaya?
What I said,
Zaya or Zaya?
Yeah. I think it's Zaya, and I oftentimes with all these celebrity children that are being molded by their parents, I oftentimes wonder where Zaya's mother is through all this, about her biological mother.
In the closet, spinning, going crazy.
I think so too, and I just I would see some of the rhetoric, and I don't know. I just often feel like for these celebrities' children, there's so many different sides to the stories. It even makes me think about Northwest and Kanye and how he says certain things that are valid, but he's hushed because of all the things. So I just, as a parent, I just wonder.
I mean, well, when you say like that, I'm thinking about Komora. I'm thinking, like there are a lot of parents that kind of like don't have say so or been silenced, when it comes to be like these celebrities are kind of like grooming their children to be superhuman. And that's not a problem. But I mean, superhuman standing in your truth. How I'm supposed to say it? Zaya or Zaya? Zaya?
Pretty sure it's Zaya.
Zaya, right? Stand in your truth, live in your truth, right? But it's like Zaya is more of a superhuman than the Magic Johnson's child, right? And how Willow and Jaden Smith, they're superhumans in their truth, and how they're grooming Blue Ivy to be the superhuman she's destined to be. It's like, whoo, child. I can't wait to be rich and not spoil my child the same way. I can't, because she's going to be mad at me. We're going to be on Celebrity. We're going to be on Celebrity A, baby. We're going to be on Celebrity A, and I ain't got it. Well, just like that, we've reached the end of another episode. Big love to everyone who has tuned in, whether you are multitasking, relaxing, or just needed a break from the noise. We appreciate you showing up and showing out with us. Today was packed from current headlines to honoring pride to throwing it back and beyond the blogs. These conversations matter, and it means a lot that you are here for them. Whether it's something heavy, hilarious, or healing, we're going to keep showing up the only way we know how. Real, unfiltered, and unapologetically us. Make sure that you are subscribed, following, and sharing the Bubble Chat with your people. Hit us up on socials. Let us know what you want us to talk about next, or just slide through just to say hi. We'll see y'all and we love you. And we will be talking back. Until next time, take care of yourself, protect your peace, and remember there's always something in the room. I'm sorry. Until next time, take care of yourself, protect your peace, and remember there's always room in the bubble. We'll catch you next time. Peace out from the bubble.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Good night.